A very warm afternoon to all. On behalf of English Department, I, Harsha Shinde, welcome you all on today's fifth day session of career-oriented diploma course in communication skills and personality development organized by the Department of English. I heartily welcome to the Principal of College, Dr. Sujit Maitre sir, Vice Principal Dr. Tundulwar sir, the guest of today's session, Dr. Somanath Barure sir, the organizing team members, IQSC coordinators, Dr. Pranjali Kane ma'am, Raktate sir, respected teachers and dear students. Welcome you all for this fifth day session. As you know, we have gathered here on the Zoom platform for 30 hours certificate course. This academic program is jointly organized by Shri Binzani City College with the collaboration of Indradhanu Cluster Colleges. The topic of today's session is technical writing in English. We have extremely delighted and honored to have with us Dr. Barure sir. It is a great honor for me to introduce and welcome our today's guest, Dr. Barure sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's my yes, sir. It's my privilege to go through the academic achievements of sir. Sir has done his MA in English from Pune University. He has qualified SET exam and he also completed B.Ed exam. Sir has honored by PhD. The topic of PhD is Indian landscape in selected poems of Niranjan Mohanty and Jayant Mohapatra. A comparative study. 9 internationals, 17 national, and 2 state level research papers were published by Sir in different conferences and seminars. 32 articles were also published in various journals. He has published 2 books named as Re-Exploring Drama in English, Reflections on Mahesh Dattani. The translation of Maji Kate Mundarichi Shala by G.N. Mungate, also done Marathi into English by Sir. Presently, Sir is working as an assistant professor for PG in English department at Vasantrao Naik Government Institute of Arts and Social Sciences College, Nagpur. Sir is also recognized as a research guide in English of RTM Nagpur University from 2018. He has completed MRP funded by UGC during 2012 to 2014. Sir is working as an associate NCC officer. His area of interest in English literature is translation, post-colonial literature, and theory with Marathi Bhasha literature. So we have with us the most dynamic and eminent personality. Now it's proceed to Sir. I request you, sir, please begin the session.
Thank you, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, but I want to pin you 1 minute.
Oh.
Yes. Welcome, sir, and good afternoon.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, thank you once again. Thank you, dear all, for this session and the Honorable Principal of Shri Binzani City College, Principal Dr. Maitre sir, Vice Principal Dr. Sandeep Tundurwar, Head of the Department of English, Dr. Pranjali Kane, and IQSC Coordinator. Another IQSC Coordinator, Dr. Narendra Raktate sir, the course coordinator, Madam Amrapali Modak, Madam Harsha Shinde, Manish, my student, and esteemed faculty members. I wish you all a good time And let me thank you all, the authorities, for inviting me to be a part of this program. This is career-oriented diploma course been run by Shri Binzani City College in collaboration with Indradhanu cluster of colleges. And as the title of this course goes, communication skills and personality development. A must kind of skill that all of us, not only students, but even teachers needed this particular kind of thing in our time. Now the course is been divided into some 6, I think, days. And today is perhaps the 5th day of this course. And the topic that is given to me is technical writing. So before I begin with my session, I would like to request the organizers to facilitate me so that I can share my screen. May I, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
1 minute. Yes. You can.
Is it visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank
It's
you.
visible.
Thank you very much. So, yes. Technical writing or writing, before going to the topic in particular, is all of us students must be known to, is one of the skills of learning a language. Sequentially, they go listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Writing comes last. And there is some logical sense when we talk of, the sequence that we have of learning a language, not necessarily English, any language. Because if you pay attention to the progress that happens, or the way we start acquiring language, basically we start from listening and proceed towards the much serious, you can say, or something that is the final kind of thing, wherein we have to give, we have to show some sort of end result, and that is always in the form of either spoken form, spoken language, or language used for writing purposes. And once we reach that level wherein we have to utilize, we have to exploit language for n number of purposes, one such purpose is technical writing. Now, the meaning of this particular term could be found in the name itself. Technical. Technical means something official, something very important. And even otherwise, when we use language, mostly in written form, even when you go to some government office to get something of your own done, some work done, and if the person from the other side, from behind the window, says that this, cannot be done at present. And if you know the rule, the government procedure, you can ask that person, give me in written. It's okay. It's absolutely fine that if this work cannot be done today at present, you give me in writing. And the person then, sits and says, no, I cannot give something in written, especially a sort of negation that he, has earlier given. Means anybody will, hesitate, will at least, have a kind of, fear when somebody asks something in writing. So writing is always a serious kind of business. So every time you write, you have to think over. And when it comes to writing something technically, then again, we have to double. We have to put, our efforts in double. Now, what technical writing, officially is, formally is, let us try to understand the meaning of technical writing with the help of, a few descriptions. They are not, definitions in reality, but somebody has attempted to, describe that term. Initially, it is said technical writing is a type of writing where the author is writing about a particular subject that requires direction, instruction, or explanation. This style of writing has a very different purpose and different characteristics than other writing styles, such as creative writing, academic writing, or business writing. Very simply, the point has been described that when somebody is a technical writer or even an ordinary person in day-to-day life, whether in business or in some official job, or even as a student, like you people are, how do we work as a technical writer, or how do we write something technically? That could be in the form of an application, that could be something particularly related to some kind of practical kind of instance, and that requires what? Direction. It should have some direction. If suppose it is an application, it should appear as an application, then it should have some purpose. Without any purpose, normally nobody writes. But when you are writing something technically, something formally, something officially, then you need to have a purpose well defined before you do. And different characteristics than other writing styles. Means technical writing is different than other writing styles. Which are they? They are creative writing, they are academic writing, or business writing. Means within one skill that I referred to in the beginning, that is writing, we have multiple kinds of writing. Technical writing is one such. And importantly, it differs in style from creative writing. Means most of the poets, novelists, dramatists, even blog writers, they are different. And technical writer and his writing is different. Then academic writing, again, as we people are, in academics, so we write sometimes, some of it is of course technical, but mostly like, when we write something like, some notes, isn't it? Not necessarily it is a part of, technical writing. And business writing is, far different. In other words, technical writing is a sub-speciality of professional writing. Now, professional writing is a broader term, and technical writing is a a part of this broader term, focused on the skills for making complex technical information accessible and navigable to both users and stakeholders. Now, this description of the term technical writing, takes this a bit ahead, and by comparing it with certain other kinds of, writings, it makes us, technical writing more clear, something that you people can understand. It says technical writing is a subspecialty of professional writing. Means it is a part of professional writing. You cannot be a technical writer, if you are not a professional, isn't it? Professional, not in that sense, but even as a student, student can be called a professional when uh, temporarily he or she writes something technically, isn't it? Means ordinary people, they use language for a bit different purpose, even in writing. But when you are a part and parcel of some organization which has been run with certain rules and a kind of uh, do list it has, therein you can be a technical writer, and it focuses on the skills for making complex technical information accessible and navigable. Means one thing you need to keep in mind, that technical writing does not mean making it more complex by using very different words, difficult words, verbose. Verbosity is not the quality of writing technically. So on the other side, it is making complex technical information accessible and navigable to both users and stakeholders. Further, technical writers these days, now why you people are doing this course, means they very important motivation that all of you have at the back of mind, and that is of making yourself able, making yourself capable of doing certain duties, performing certain duties. You are enabling yourself through such courses. So technical writers these days, we are a part and parcel of this digital world, and in this digital world we have certain different jobs to be done. So these technical writers these days are sought after, means they are in demand for their plain language. What in the second description we have read, isn't it? Technical writing is all about using language in a very plain manner, in a very lucid manner, without any ambiguity, and user experience research skills by software companies, instructional design firms, hospitals, and insurance companies, in engineering companies, and even in government offices. Now, in the slides to come, I'm coming to the point, means what are the areas where you can have, jobs or, career opportunities using your ability to write technically, that we are going to discuss. But here also, again, a reference has come why people having that ability to write something grammatically correct, something, the message that is to be passed in proper language, using very few words or the number of words they are required to communicate, isn't it? So such people, why they are sought after, why they are in demand? Because their use of language is plain. All of us, we use language, but that does not mean that our language is such systematic or such appropriate language to convey message. So most of the times we keep talking, but seldom it reaches the audience, means they fail to understand what we say. So these technical writers are not the people who will write and we won't be able to understand. That never happens. Then technical writing or communication, writing is also communication, wherein the writer uses language in written so as to communicate. So technical writing or communication in the rapidly changing areas of digital media demands us to be informed in the visual verbal. Now, this is not going to be a major part of my session today, because technical writing is a very broad concept. So we won't be able to touch each and everything. But a passing reference I would like to give of the media, the gazettes, and the activities that we do, every other time, throughout days and nights, isn't it, these days? And what kind of use of language we are doing? Mostly it is visual verbal. Means mostly people copy and paste, and they forward, isn't it? Means if I consider my own experience, if I consider my own use of language, not more than 30-40% times, if I'm there to text somebody, I write my message on my own. But mostly I keep reading. Mostly I keep copying something or forwarding something. So language has been used, and it is made available these days in the form of visual verbal. And technical writers and technical writing as a whole is going to play, and even at present time, it is playing a major role that we need to understand, so as to search the new areas in the days to come. And I think that is the pivotal kind of point you all students having in the near future, wherein you can go and find your own job, isn't it? So it focuses on writing conversation in career focused fields, using concepts and strategies of writing in practical field, including analysis, research in the same field, proper citation. This kind of writings include descriptions, memos, letters, proposals, and reports commonly. Now, these are, some of the areas, very primarily, they come as and when we talk of, writing something technically. Now, we are going to see the examples in the form of, application when it is written for, some job, how to write, a thanks letter formally, even some 2-3 other applications we are going to see. And with that, we shall also have an example of email. Means at your level, at the level of undergraduates, what kind of technical writing, if not as a writer, is to be known by you all, but at least technical writing involves these activities that should be known to you. For example, this kind of writing includes descriptions. For sure, all of you should be able to read, understand, and sometimes be able to give descriptions of certain concepts, certain ideas, as and when they are asked or used at your end. So descriptions is a very important part of technical writing, and as a student you should know this. When it comes to memos, memos may not be of use at your level, but if somebody is working and at the same time having education, even memos may be a very important part to be learned, how to write, how to read, and understand when a memo is been issued by some authority to you. Letters form the very important part of technical writing at your level. Means occasionally we keep writing letters. Like we write an application sometimes, we write a letter to the principal, we write a letter to some bookseller, isn't it? For anything, sometimes nowadays letters, they have been replaced by emails. Here I said just letters, but that means email as well. So the form changes a bit, but the work and the methodology and the style remains same. And even proposals and reports, they come under technical writing. Technical writing is a broader term that encompasses a wide variety of documents in science, engineering, and skilled trades. When I'm saying technical writing is all about science, engineering, and skilled trades, that does not mean that arts faculty, especially most of the students, probably they'll be from arts background. So don't go with the disciplines, mentioned here. Technical writing is equally important even for arts and, social sciences people, isn't it? Of course, the, way of writing changes when it comes to the academic writings, but it does have, importance equally in almost all disciplines of learning. But for my convenience, I have taken just 2-3 names. The major type of document in technical writing can be grouped into 4 major categories. Now pay attention to the categories. Number 1, that is reports and communications in day-to-day business. Now, forget for some time that you are a student. Even for a professional, one who is, a shopkeeper, one who runs, some agency, isn't it? He too has to write many more reports and communications, frequently, verbally, and most officially, isn't it? Commonly, they have to again write letters, send electronic mail, isn't it? Then that is one, category. Technical papers, magazine articles, books for the purpose of education and sharing knowledge. Now, this is the second category wherein technical writing is of much more use. Or we cannot, think of getting our work done not by writing technically. If I'm a teacher, as madam, when she was introducing me, not to show you people at, the level you are in, wherein, we have nothing to do with, what research papers are and what kind of research papers that we have, isn't it? And what is its use for, ordinary people? That is again a topic of research. We are not going into that. But as a teacher, I have to keep pace with, these kind of uses of language, wherein I have to write papers. And while writing paper, I had to follow certain rules, isn't it? Whether, they are the rules of grammar or the rules of writing, some article, in the appropriate format using, some methodology, isn't it? There are certain rules again of, citation rules that will come in our presentation, a bit late. But we have to, even when you will just go through the slides, hereafter, you will come to know that I have taken certain things from certain, online sources, isn't it? And I have given references, citations, isn't it? Because these days, even things are made available, at the tip of your finger, isn't it? You just touch something and, the thing is made available. But there are patents, there are, ownerships of the original writers. And as and when we use, any such information for personal use or for, teaching purposes, we have to acknowledge, we have to give a reference of that source. So these are the technicalities of writing, something academically, using something academically. So magazine articles, books for the purpose of education and sharing, they come in this category. And then there are patents. Patents are known to each and everyone nowadays. Means something that you invent, something that you create, something that you write, and it is your own possession. And if it is legally done, that is a patent, somebody owns. And then comes the operational manuals, instructions, and procedures. So these are the 4 broad categories of language when it is used for technical purposes. Now, the most lucrative thing, all of you are doing this course for gaining some knowledge, acquiring some skill, so that you can use language effectively. as and when it is necessary. Now, just a minute. Which are the possible areas where you can, have, a job, or what are the career options in technical professional writing? If suppose you are a very good technical writer, you can use, language for, the technical purposes. You can be an editor, writer. Means the possible places where you can work, you will come to know if you search for, jobs as editor or writer, technical writer. Publication firms normally offer you that kind of job. Of course, for that you need to have that skill, and you should be expert in using, language. Then comes the content strategist or writer. As there is, a post of technical writer or content writer. Most of the media firms, they have, such vacancies, such, career opportunities. For that, again, you need to be a good writer. Again, you can be an editor. Most of the jobs, they come from the world of media and publication. Then comes the communications manager. Technical writing does not mean, you are using language only for writing purposes, isn't it? That is again, a kind of communication. So communications manager in media houses, you can have an opportunity. Then news reporter, every day we keep watching news channels. So news reporters, though they are reporting the news verbally, but before that, somebody works, isn't it? So again, you can have this opportunity to be a part of, the news agencies, newspapers, periodicals, book, and directory publisher. Means, you can work in publishing industry. Social media coordinator nowadays means, though you are not going to be a part of, either print or electronic media, but you can be a social media coordinator. Nowadays, you must be known to the fact that, most of the business houses, even the government, offices, they have, a post, isn't it? They have, a group of people, and they are handling, the related social media platforms. They have their Twitter handles, they have their, Facebook accounts, even WhatsApp group chats, isn't it? Much of the work, even in educational institutions nowadays, they have been done using, such, social media sites and, applications. Then you can work in scientific research, field, where, if suppose your subject is something different, like if you're a science student, if you're a commerce student, management student, and if not, you are going to work directly in some firm wherein your job is, likely to be different. But if suppose a management student, works in some organization wherein he can use his ability, her ability of, using language technically, therein scientific research in the relevant stream and relevant subject, you can use your expertise and be professional. Then comes the digital copywriter, software publisher, web development and writing, management, scientific and technical consulting. These are the probable, areas wherein you can have your career, isn't it? But subject to your skills in using language for technical purposes. Now, in bracket, you must have seen the US Bureau of Labor Statistics says there is 15% growth between 2012 to 2022 in this decade. And the source, I have given there. Virginia Tech University has given, this information, that an important office from the US says that there is growth in the career opportunities of technical writers in America is 15% in the last 10 years. So 15% is not, a small number when we talk of, growth of this particular area. So all of you, are quite aware and awakened, I should say, because you people have already made a choice and you became a part of this course so as to get, the skill of using language, officially, technically. Okay. Now, this is a spectrum of technical writing I have, taken from this source, wherein the technical writing has been shown, the way in the earlier slide we have seen that the 3-4 categories wherein technical writing is used. Again, it is, elaborated, given with examples how technical writing could be, grouped into, or just for the convenience of, students, how to look at, technical writing as a whole. So here, some 3 categories broadly have been given. In one, we have the process or machine descriptions, manuals, instructions, and procedures. Now, however, we keep talking about the opportunities, they are, around us, but still nowadays, because of the digital, revolution, what is it more important? That every other day we purchase something online, and most of the gadgets, most of the things that we purchase, they come from abroad. And if suppose something comes from France, if I'm ordering some cosmetic kind of thing, and if the producer of that particular thing is a French organization, isn't it? Now something that has been written in French is not going to be understood by a person like me. So there is a translator, and the person gives information regarding how to use that particular thing, isn't it? What are the ingredients used in? So the entire information provided on the product, or in the brochure, or in the that book that is called manual, that is in English in most of the cases. Now, such kind of writing is in very much demand nowadays in multinational companies. So possibility of getting a job of this kind is comparatively more. So such process or machine descriptions on purchase, manuals, instructions, and procedures, that forms a very large number of technical writing that we have in use in our time. The second one, right at bottom, it is about scripts, magazine articles, books, papers, and thesis. This part comes from the academic side, means from the academia, means in colleges, in schools, in universities, and in other institutions of higher learning, wherein academic work is done. So language is used technically for these purposes as well. But as students, you should not pay attention to this one. So keep yourself updated in the possible areas where you can use language systematically and stand firm on your own feet. Now remains the third area, wherein patents, and the last one and most appropriate in your case, though we are dealing with all the probable sites, all the probable areas of technical writing, but the most important and most appropriate at this particular stage in your life is writing letters, writing memos, writing, composing an email, then notes, informal reports, formal reports, status reports, surveys, and benchmarking, marketing, and quality control. Last two or three, again, let us, keep it aside. But as a student, something that is given under reports forms the major part of, using language for, day-to-day use, which, it has been named as business in many technical fields. Now, the purpose of this lecture on technical writing, which I have, decided, I, attempted to frame it in this way. Always a technical document has some reason behind it. Now, the fact is known to each one of us. Such documents could be of various kind. Below is the list of some documents that comes under the area of technical writing. We have already seen. Through this discussion today, you will at least get to know about what technical writing is and where do we use it in day-to-day life. Now, what is it important from the point of view of students? That how to write an application. Because as and when we have, application written by students in our hand, most of the times I cannot, stop myself from guiding the student that how to write an application, isn't it? Therein, we have to, give it in writing sometimes, or suggest them to correct, certain things. Because, application changes from, one situation to another, from one person to another, from one institution to another, isn't it? And even within one institution, depending upon the circumstances, depending upon the need, and, the type of situation you are in, it changes. So you need to change your application. Meaning by that, even your language, the way it has been used. So how to write an email, writing an agenda, if suppose some meeting is there, writing a report of some event, excursion, activity, etc., writing notice, academic writing, manuals, machine descriptions, instructions, and procedure. Now, first 5 or 6, they are most relevant in your, phase, you can say, in your time. Now, the attributes of technical writing. Technical writing differs from other forms of writing. It has a degree of formality, I have already talked about, and it focuses on some specific information. Now, when you are writing technically, most of the students, at present, they may not be known to the, medium that we had some 20 years before, most commonly used, that was telegram. Even when, mobile phones and even landlines were not, that easily available. And in a way, it was luxury to have a landline phone at home when I was a undergraduate student, long back, in 2000, 1999. So then a telegram was in use, and the telegraph office, they used to charge on the number of words you use. If suppose somebody is dead in the family, and the message is to be communicated to somebody who is residing there in Mumbai. So, some person from the family would rush to the, office, the telegram office, and there, the message is written using words, isn't it? So to write a message, so and so is dead, come soon. The person had to pay depending upon the use of words. Now, one side of it is, of course, economic, but the other side again, while writing such message, the person need to be very specific about information to be communicated, message to be communicated. So the attributes of technical writing are, it pertains to a technical subject. Every time you write technically, it pertains to a technical subject. It has a purpose. Otherwise, normally we keep writing without any purpose as well. mostly, creative kind of writing is, of course, there is a purpose behind every time, some writer writes, but still, uh, formally, it has, sometimes no purpose. But in technical writing, always, the writing has some purpose. It has an objective. It conveys information, facts, data. It is impersonal. The most important, attribute that technical writing has. That technical writing is impersonal. It has nothing of, its own. And, quite often, it is, like from the third person point of view, isn't it? First person, second person, and third person. Third person information is, mostly impersonal. So it is in third person voice, you should remember. It is concise, means using very few and appropriate words, and it is directed. It has a style and format, means you cannot write a formal letter the way you like it. It has a proper format and style as well. We are going to see with the help of, a few slides. Then it is archival, means something that you write and send, that could be archived. It cites contributions of others, means if you are using information from other sources, you have to cite, the source. So thus, all these are the attributes, features of technical writing. Now coming, practically to the, occasions wherein you can see that how, language is being used. I would have chosen, such examples of my own, but again, subjectivity will be there. So I have chosen, certain formats wherein, you can have faith in, and they are the leaders, isn't it? So this one by L.G. Alexander's essay and letter writing, the letter of application for a post. Now, normally, you people are also on the verge of, getting your first degree, and perhaps, in a year or two, you will also be writing such letters. So how to write that letter, mostly in demand nowadays, and how systematically it has been written. The letter of application for a post, subject, a letter applying for the post of air hostess. Now, in the right top corner, as we write, the address of the, writer has been given. The, person whom it has been addressed, that is written, the employment officer, Home and Overseas Airways Limited, Sigmund House, 79 Bremen Street, Hanover. Now, you should pay attention to how the punctuation marks are used, because while in speech, we seldom pay attention to the pauses, the rise and fall of, voice, through which we are supposed to, punctuate our speech. But when it comes to writing, you have to, use the punctuation marks, and how, after every entry, the full stop or the comma that has been used. Now, dear sir, salutation. I was interested to read in your magazine, into single inverted commas, Go by Air. That is the title, how title has been, put into single inverted commas, that you require air hostesses. Now the body of the, letter. I am 19 years old and I am at present attending the Modern Languages School at 24 Leuven Street, where I am studying English and French. I have been there since leaving the state real school 3 years ago. I wish to apply for a post as air hostess, and I am free to attend for interview on any day except Mondays and Fridays. The principal of my present school, Mr. T. Jones, and my old headmaster, Herr Z. Skulls have kindly agreed to send information about me if you require it. Yours faithfully, else clean. Now see, using very few words, but how important information about self, about one's own institute, and the affiliation with teachers, affiliation with principal, and how the writer of this application has made it very systematic, wherein anybody here the addresser, the employment officer of this particular firm will get authentic information about the writer, and that is to be authenticated by the principal and the concerned teacher. So it gives more weightage. So this is just an example how to write an application using language very systematically and technically, officially. Okay. Letter from someone intending to open a bookshop. Now that was for seeking a job. Now this one is about intending to open a bookshop and inquiring about the possibility of obtaining rare books. Now how one who is going to start a bookshop, and to start a bookshop we need books, and how to get these books, how that could be written formally, technically. Again, same format, information about address of the sender in the right hand top corner, then the address of the addressee, A.L. Harrison, the bookshop, 27 Newcombe Road, Finsbury Park, London, England. Same format. Here I have not given space because it was not fitting to my slide. But when you write, the address of the person whom you're addressing, you need to keep some space. Even then salutation, dear Mr. Harrison, or whatever. I have been studying the rare book catalog you gave me while I was in London, and I feel that there would be considerable demand here for many of the books on your list. By mid-December, I shall have opened a bookshop of my own in which I hope to sell rare books. Would you please let me know whether you would be prepared to keep me supplied with books published in the early 17th century? I would also like to know whether lots 73 and 97 in your catalog are still available. My kindest regards to your wife. Yours sincerely, D. Lambros. Now see, this particular letter, wherein he inquires, he refers something that has already been happened, and again while being formal, while being a professional, how he creates a sort of relationship with his firm, from where he needed something for his own profession. He inquires, he refers the relationship that they have. Means he had already met the person he is addressing to, and how using just a paragraph he said that I'm going to start a shop of my own wherein I would like to sell rare books, and when I had a meeting with you earlier, you have given me that catalog, and he's inquiring whether so and so entries are available with you or not, isn't it? And the closing of the letter, using just 5 to 6 words, my kindest regards to your wife, yours sincerely, D. Lambros. So this is one another format that could be taken ideal, and you should model your own applications, your own letters, for a job or for some other purposes like this. Now there is one cover letter, and the sample cover letter has been given here. I'm not going to read this, but just, we shall have some passing references. Now, cover letters, when we use, if suppose, going back to the, last but, one slide, wherein we were looking at, the job application. Now that job application can also be considered as cover letter, because therein you have to put, certain other documents or attach it to, like your, degree certificates, uh, your biodata copy, isn't it? So all these documents are attached, and this one is the, cover letter, isn't it, that you have to write. Now here, the model of the cover letter has been given. How to put your information in the cover letter, and do not forget to, mention it. That, like, if suppose you are writing, inquiring about the scholarship status for the year 2020-2021, because these days I am receiving, such letters, but students, they fail to make it a point, and they come very inefficiently in writing. Means, if suppose a student has not got the scholarship for last year, he or she should come with, certain documents. Like suppose I'm a student and I'm studying in MA first year. Last year I applied for, the scheduled caste or scheduled tribe or any scholarship. And how the procedure is that we have to apply for scholarship online, and mostly it is done in the internet cafes. And once, the application has been submitted online, we have uh, a print of it, hard copy, and that hard copy is to be submitted in the office as well, and one we have to keep for ourselves as a proof. If suppose in a years of time, I'm not, somehow able to have my scholarship amount, then I'll go to the office and I'll write an application, isn't it? So the cover letter, can be of use in such occasion, in such situation, wherein you have to address it to the principal, the director of the institute, isn't it? Then subject regarding my scholarship for the year 2020-21, and then you write that how you applied, online, and the copy of which you submitted in the office, and I have a copy of my own for, official purposes. So you attach that copy with the cover letter and submit it to the office, complaining, what happened to you. So this model will be of use if you go through, as I'll request the organizers to make it available to students. So this is sample thing. And one very important thing, that comes under technical writing again, because though biodata or resume is going to be is not going to be a part and parcel of technical writing purely, but this is a very important document that you have to produce as and when you are, applying for job or some, other purpose. You have to have a very good resume as well. Now these are the tips to write, your resume. Language should be specific, active rather than passive. You should, write it to express, not to impress. Means it should be in, simple, lucid language. Articulate rather than flowery. Means a resume is not to show off, isn't it? It is to, narrate. It is to articulate. Fact based. Everything that you mention should have some, solid, thing to show as and when asked. Written for people who can, who scan quickly. Means your resume should not be, lengthy. It should not have, unnecessary use of words. Then there are certain don'ts. Use personal pronouns such as I. Try to abbreviate if possible. Use a narrative style. Number or letter categories, they should also be a part of it. Use slang or colloquialism. I'm saying you are not supposed to do this. Then include a picture, not necessary. Include age or sex, not necessary. List references. If they are asked, then it's okay. But if not asked, you need not mention it. Plan to work, internationally. Your resume guidelines can vary from country to country. See our international resources at ocs.fas.harvard.edu online tools. This is the source. I have taken this from this website. So if you are, looking at, preparing your own resume, of that level, you can go to the source and find it out. Then normally, some mistakes are found in resumes. They are in spellings and grammar. Missing email and phone information, means contact information, people fail to give, or they, somehow forget. Using passive language instead of action words, not well organized, concise, or easy to skim. And sometimes it is too long. So you need to, give your information to the point and in short. Certain do's are there. Be consistent in format and content. Make it easy to read and follow. Balancing white space. Use consistent spacing, underlining, italics, bold, and capitalization for emphasis. All these are, the tools in editing. List headings. Within headings, list information in reverse chronological order. And avoid information gaps such as missing summa. Be sure that your formatting translated properly if converted to a PDF, isn't it? Now, this is the exact, one example of resume, isn't it? We are running short of time, so I will not go through. But how to categorize your information when you are, preparing your resume? The example is given. This I thought is the ideal format, but there are many other, formats of writing your own resume. But this one is given by Harvard University Extension School. So, once the slides are shared, you please go through. And if needed more help, you can go to the source, which has, already been shared. Now, very few things you need to keep in mind. They are the characteristics of a good resume. First is readability, means something that you write should be readable. It should be clear and, free of ambiguity. Something that you say should have a clear meaning, and then correct spelling, grammatically correct, chronologically sound, means once you start, telling about yourself, you should give your name, your address, your contact details. So this chronology need to be maintained even when you talk about your professional experience and certain other things. Then ideally it should be 2-3 pages, isn't it? Your resume should not exceed this limit. Now there is one sample cover letter. Again, it is an application letter, and how systematically it is written. Again, I have, reduced the space after, the first and, second address, and the body of the letter, and the salutation and end. So this could be used as a model. I'm not going to read this one. This is just an example. One very important thing, most of the job seekers, they fail to maintain. Of course, we keep applying for job, but once when we apply, we just keep waiting for their response in terms of interview letter or call letter. But another thing could be done when you have applied somewhere for some job, and you are waiting for interview letter, or the invitation letter. One thing could be done, that is thank you letter, isn't it? Here, one such example I have taken from online resource, and the address could be read, and the body of the letter it's something very creative kind of thing within technical writing. Thank you very much for interviewing me. Now this is post interview. The interview has already been taken, and the candidate is writing to the interviewer. Thank you very much for interviewing me yesterday for the associate engineer position. I enjoyed meeting you and learning more about your research and design work. As a result of our conversation, my enthusiasm for the position and my interest in working for AES, the organization, are even stronger. My education and internship experiences appear to fit nicely with the job requirements, and I am sure that I could make a significant contribution to the firm. I want to reiterate my strong interest in the position and in working with you and your staff. This opportunity is exactly what I am looking for, and I would be happy to speak with you further about my qualifications for the job. Please feel free to call me at number or by email at if I can provide you with any additional information. Again, thank you for the interview and your consideration. Sincerely, Frederick Diane. Now see, is it not an attempt to create an impression again that you are very alert, you are very active, and how and when and in what way to contact, so as to influence people and make them believe that you are the one who is the most appropriate. So this thank you letter should be a part of the relationship that you are going to build, or the opportunity that you are eyeing on, isn't it? To make it happen, you should use such tricks, and technical knowledge of using language could be of help. Now the last but very important area wherein we use, or you students, you're supposed to use language technically, that is writing an email. Now I have taken an example, though it seldom appears as an email, but the information given, the following model will help you to understand how your email should be precise, clear, and good. You may use the respective greetings as required. Here is an example from Don Michel Board's The Executive Guide to Email Correspondence, including model letters for every situation. In this left side of the boxes are the indicative words, the direction symbol, and below that, what is and shows written in an email, like subject, announcement, present circumstances, conflict, goodwill clause. See, now the mail has been written by some employee to the other employee, and Adnan, I need to know the financial projections for outsourced production in the coming year. Now this is the subject of the email. And what is the present circumstance? Right now, I believe a 125% increase is authorized, although the previous projections held to 80%. The lower number is based on FIFO. The higher is LST. Now, conflict kahan par hai? I have no objection to 125% if operations is comfortable. But I have just seen some correspondence suggesting that 125% is too high for business to approve. And then goodwill, please advise. And regards, Simon Fa, Associate Information Officer, Vector Incorporation, and then email ID is given. See, using very few words, but following all the technicalities of forming your mail, and giving the message what you exactly wanted to give. This could be an ideal situation wherein you can shape your mail. Now the last part of my presentation, as I was asked, the question and answers. Madam, should I leave it to the students to do on their own?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do I need to go through the questions, or they will be provided with the slides?
Sir, as you
Yeah,
wish.
yeah. You can share my slide with them so that
Yes, yes, sir.
unnecessarily,
We
we
will
won't
share
be.
this PPT with the students.
Yes, yes, sir. So with this, I think I have done with my presentation. If anybody is having any doubt regarding what I talked over regarding the topic today, the session is open for all discussion.
Hello. Yes,
Yeah.
students. If you want to ask any queries or any difficulty with the, you can ask with sir or to the sir. Have you any queries? Any difficulty?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
It's done.
Okay, sir.
Please.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. It's true. As you say, technical writing is equally important for arts, commerce, and science students. Sir has covered all the major aspects of technical writing in English. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing this meeting. It was a wonderful session. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to invite Miss Amrapali Morok ma'am to propose oath of thanks.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Respected principal of our college, Dr. Sujit Maitre, sir. The most valued guest of our today's session, Dr. Somanath Barure, the head of the Department of English, Dr. A.M. Shende, the organizing team members, my colleague teachers, and dear students. I'm really thankful for giving me an opportunity to propose a vote of thanks here. On behalf of the Department of English, I spread my most sincere thanks to the guest, respected Dr. Somnath Barure sir, who gave his most valuable time for his busy schedule to grace this session. Sir, you truly made this session wonderful for us. It will definitely make our students confident, self-motivated. I want to extend my generous thanks to the principal of our college, Dr. Maitre sir, for his support. I thank to the head of the Department of English, Dr. A.M. Shinde, for his support and cooperation. I thank to the organizing team for having such wonderful sessions. I also thank my colleague teachers for their leading participation at every point of time. I am thankful to all the participants for joining here and listen the program carefully. Once again, thank you, sir. Thank you all. Here the session is over. Student, please visit Google Classroom for further assignments, quiz, and feedback. Thank you.